Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This time to do a video response here, Sunday afternoon, enjoying a beer here, a coffee Baltic Porter from Crook Stave from a brewery from Denver, Colorado. 8% alcohol, so we'll see how well it goes. But this is a video response to the Button Mappers, a channel that I've been enjoying quite a bit as of late. You know, with the whole working from home situation due to the the virus thing. And the pandemic, I've been listening to a lot more like podcasts, while I'm doing work at home. And they posted a new video recently asking for the opinions of the community regarding basically modern gaming versus retro gaming. So I figured I'd chime in. I was getting ready to record an impressions video, so might as well do a video response and get engaged with the community. Make sure you check out the Button Mappers. A majority, I've been subscribed to him for a while. He's one of the hosts, as well as Spencer from the Itch Network, which I've been subscribed for a long time, and then Alex from TurboZone, which I'm gonna subscribe to his channel, or I already did actually. He has a lot of great content too, yeah. I already noticed that there's a video response made by I think Terry is his name on the actual main video, which I'm going to link down below from the Button Mapper. So if you guys want to do a video response, feel free to do that. Now this user Terry, he went on a on some grievances that he has with the modern industry, and I'm going to take the opposite approach, bring a little bit more positivity into the equation, if you will, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my vote towards I prefer modern gaming, and I'll explain why. Cheers, guys. Now, the reason I decided to go with a vote towards modern gaming is because gaming has been my hobby ever since I was a very little kid. And I've been playing, I grew up basically during the 16-bit era, whatever generation that was. Playing a lot of Super Nintendo games. That's pretty much what I did back then. Some friends had the Sega Genesis, but for the most part it was Super Nintendo. And gaming has been my hobby ever pretty much since then. So for every generation, whether it's a 16-bit generation, the next generation where the PlayStation, the Saturn, the Nintendo 64 came out, then you had the GameCube, PS2, Dreamcast, Xbox. Gaming has been my hobby, so naturally what I do for every generation of gaming is I play a lot of games. And so I've been enjoying a good number of games for every generation that has passed. So my reasoning behind that, or towards voting to modern gaming, is number one, I feel like for example, for the 16-bit era, I love the Super Nintendo. It's one of my favorite consoles of all time. It's in my username, SNES Mapper. So I believe I already played a good portion of the games that I think I enjoy. I love the games like Super Mario World, Zelda, A Link to the Past, Super Mario RPG. I can make a huge list of 16-bit games that I've enjoyed. So there's not a whole lot for me to discover in a sense. Granted, there's some heavy hitters that I not played from that generation, like Final Fantasy VI. There's a lot of RPGs. I didn't used to play RPGs back then, but I feel like as I moved from generation to generation, I was able to enjoy and appreciate and play and complete and beat games that in my opinion, I enjoyed a lot. Moving through generations, I played the Resident Evils, the Metal Gear Solids. I played just the different Marios. Every generation there's new Mario games, new Zelda games. And through friends, even though sometimes I didn't own certain consoles. For example, a neighbor had the Sega Saturn back in the day. I didn't have a Sega Saturn, so if I wanted to play games like Sega Rally or other games, I would just go to his place and we would play those games. And that takes me kind of like through every generation. I've been playing games that and discovering games that I enjoy. And now in the present day, the modern era, I'm doing the same. I'm playing as many games as I can, as time permits, obviously, as money permits, obviously. But I'm just trying to play as many games as I can and enjoy them as many games as I can. And the new generation is about to start, with the PS5, with the new Xbox Series X coming up at the end of the year. Eventually I'll get to that generation as well, and slowly I'll be transitioning towards newer games. And it gets really difficult, obviously, with the backlog and the collection habits. But it's not like I dedicate 100% of my time to playing games that are only current generation. I do go back, and every year I play some retro games. It's just that the percentage, I would say like 70% of the games that I played are typically modern, and then like 30 or 20% are retro games. So I tend to play modern games because of the production values. I'm not gonna lie. I think games nowadays, they look obviously better. They play better. They have higher quality standards, even though that's sometimes debatable. Some games are released and they're broken, but through the digital age, we get patches, day one patches. Sometimes there are bugs, and it's unfortunate, but I feel like at the same time modern games are way more complex than retro games. So in my opinion, I'm not saying it's acceptable, but it's expected for games not to be perfect and not to be working sometimes from day one. Net codes, if it's a online multiplayer games, they have to be improved. But again, through the beauty of patches and downloadable content, I think that can be amended or fixed, depending on the developer, the publisher, and all that. But for the most part, I've been very happy playing modern games. And that's reflected on my pickups videos. If you guys follow my channel, if you guys watch my pickups videos, I tend to buy current generation games. And if not, like if it's an older game, it's typically for like a generation older, like sometimes PS3 games and whatnot, 3DS games and things like that. So I just find I just find more quality, and I think we're truly in one of the best generations of gaming, and I'll explain that after I take a sip. Now, the reason why I think we are in some sort of a golden age of gaming, it's because there has been a resurgence. For example, I think JRPGs have, for example, I'm just taking one genre. I think they have come to somewhat to life. There's a lot of if it's not newer games, at least we have remasters, remakes coming out for different games. There has been a resurgence on PC gaming as well. For a while, it seemed like the entire focus of gaming was on consoles, and I'm talking about a generation or two ago. But now, PC gaming is, in my opinion, very, very strong, with Steam and different other options, subscriptions, Epic Games. We have the streaming, future or, future battles with, Google Stadia, GeForce Now, Xbox, cloud services and all that. So I feel there's a lot of more competition. There has been a resurgence, in my opinion, in CRPGs, with games like Disco Elysium, the Divinity games, the Pillars of Eternity games. There has been a resurgence on old school like platformers. There's a ton of indie games out there that are 8-bit looking, 16-bit looking, 24-bit looking, in between, or more than 16-bit games. You guys know what I mean. I mean, there's so much choices nowadays that I think we're living in the golden age of gaming, in my opinion. I know there's some practices that they're not ideal, like microtransactions, downloadable content, which to me I don't mind those too much as long as they're fair. But when you have developers for example, Capcom with Asura's Wrath, for example, a game that I played on the PlayStation 3, you actually had to buy the DLC to watch the true ending of the game, and that's kind of messed up, in my opinion. It is messed up. But if it's like minor stuff, like cosmetic stuff, like skins and for the weapons or the characters, I'm okay with that. So there's a lot of gray areas that I think are somewhat negative in modern gaming, but I think the positives far outweigh the negatives, and that's why I enjoy modern games. I'm very happy with owning a PlayStation 4. This was the first generation that I've ever owned a Microsoft console. I do own an Xbox One, for example, and I've been very happy with the Game Pass service, which allows you to pick from a selection of games. And sometimes it's bad if you have gaming ADD, trying to concentrate on how to beat games. But I have no issues whatsoever in starting or trying a game, and if it's not holding my attention or if I just don't like it, I can just go to the next one. I like trying new games. In fact, I was trying a couple of indie games on the Xbox One, not with the intention of actually beating the games, but just trying them out, see what the intent of the game was, see what the developer was trying to do, see what their ideas are, and playing just an hour or two just to get my feet wet on their ideas. That to me is enough. Like, I don't necessarily have to complete the games. Now, if I do like the games, obviously I'm going to put the effort towards completing them. But I like having that liberty, that option of just being able to try new games through services like Xbox Game Pass. It's a very low risk, in my opinion, paying like a monthly fee and being able to try a multitude of games. And I'm doing the same thing with PlayStation Now. In my opinion, it's a very worthy service. It's like $60 a month or a year, which is the price of a new game, and you have a selection of over 800 games. So I know a lot of people are not keen of digital games. There's the whole DRM situation. Do you own the games? Obviously you don't. But the way I look at things is, are they entertaining me for X amount of time? And if the answer is yes, then I think it's worth it. I play games to, first and foremost, to be entertained, and sure I do enjoy the collecting aspect of things. I do enjoy grabbing a game, opening the package, or looking at the instruction manual, looking at the art. Things that are getting lost, unfortunately, with as we move forward to newer generations. But we have to adapt. Music has gone through that same problem, I guess. More and more people out there are streaming, myself included. I have a pretty large collection of CDs, but I'm not gonna lie, guys, I enjoy having a streaming service on my phone. It's cloud-based. You can listen to music through your computer, your tablet, your phones, and the same thing with movies and TV shows. Having Netflix, it's a great, in my opinion, it's a great thing. And of course, you don't own, it's not like owning a Blu-ray, for example, but if you get entertainment out of it, I think it's worth it. So just to make a long story short, my vote goes to modern gaming. I think, again, we're living, in my opinion, in the golden age of modern or of gaming overall. There's so many options through new genres that have been revived, new genres that are being, games that are being remade, classic games that are being either remastered or remade, and sometimes they're not even altered. They're being offered through virtual console services. Emulation has come a long way if you guys are into that. So, and in my opinion, it's a good time to be a gamer, giving you a lot of options. And I enjoy technology, and I've been enjoying a lot the modern, playing modern games on different systems, and just being able to appreciate what developers are doing nowadays. It's pretty fun. So that's my video response. Hopefully you guys check out the button mappers. This was, in my opinion, a pretty good question. So thank you guys for watching my video, and I will see you guys later. Take it easy.